I received an email from Nancy this week, and she wanted to know if she has a race, she happens to be an elite runner, and if her race is less than an hour long, does she need to take any calories during the race? And this was a fantastic question, I thought, because when we get into the subject of nutrition, there's so much misinformation that's out there. I thought we could kind of clarify what's the appropriate way to approach any specific event that lasts less than 1 hour. Before we get into that subject in depth, you almost have to back up and ask yourself, what did you eat for dinner the night before? I know that may sound a little bit strange. The question that came in was, if the race is less than an hour, do I need to take calories during the hour? And the reason why we have to look at dinner is we have to look at what we refer to as pre-hydration, pre-nutrition. So when you eat a legitimate meal full of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, lean protein the night before, these are food items that you've tested and you know you have no GI distress whatsoever. That feeds your quality of sleep, but recognize that during the night your liver has been feeding your brain. So when you wake up in the morning, your liver's depleted, and this is where the question becomes a little bit more relevant. You want to consume a complete meal 2 hours before your event, because what that does is that tops off the storage in your liver. And when we say storage, sugar storages known as glycogen. You top off your muscle glycogen, which is going to be necessary for muscular movement. Now you have both gas tanks that are topped off. Now there's one little middle step that we have to take into consideration. You eat dinner the night before, that feeds high quality sleep. You wake up in the morning recognizing that both gas tanks are a little bit depleted. You eat a breakfast that you've tried and have validated works, no GI distress, easy to digest and break down. Now you've got your gas tanks topped off to fuel up to 60 minutes with no problems whatsoever. Now, what I would recommend is I have a product called Energy Fuel that's going to provide you kind of topping off your tanks with electrolytes. Those electrolytes are going to help you absorb the fluid, so now you're pre-hydrated, and it's going to top off with the necessary sugars. So by the time you wake up, go to the restroom, drive to the venue itself, and then get ready to start your race, all you're doing is just making sure that all three of those, water, electrolytes, and sugar, are topped off. Once the race begins, up to 60 minutes, you don't need to worry about taking in outside calories. The reason being is when the body converts what you eat to stored sugar, known as glycogen, that is the preferred fuel source that your body, both the brain and the muscles, are always going to lean towards. It would much rather convert stored sugar to energy than it would try to break down something in the stomach and convert it to energy. So this was a great question that I thought everybody could benefit from. I wanted to make sure we got it into a video. It's about what you do the 2 hours before that makes all the difference on whether or not you can fuel that next 1 hour of activity. Now, if you have multiple activities in a day that are at an hour plus, absolutely, you're going to have to be looking at nutritional timing in between each event. That's a topic for another video. But do you need to take in calories if your event is less than an hour? The answer would be no. And as always, I would recommend taking a little bit of a backup plan. Take 4 to 6 ounces of energy fuel with you. So if you, for whatever reason, let's say that you drain your gas tank much quicker than you anticipated, or maybe you didn't nail your nutrition in the morning as well as you thought you did, you've got that backup plan. Just hit that energy fuel, gives you those electrolytes, and it's going to give you the sugar that you need. But remember, the body's always going to prefer stored sugar over anything that you digest, but after a while, once those gas tanks become empty, you're going to have to rely on an outside source. Great question, and if you happen to have one, I want you to do me a favor, send it to us, contact@coachrob.com. Here on YouTube, we're launching a new video every day. We encourage you to please like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.